Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today we are going to be talking about the 6 times Grove Hanger campaign right now. As far as this video, I'm not gonna go over every single part from head to the pilot, just because it is going to be pointless. Because if I'm doing that, I'm pretty much going to be picking the best, quote unquote, air quote, the best part currently, which I will not think everyone has them. So there's really no points, because people would say I can't even get them, I can't even trade them, and etc. So what this video is going to be testing for is pretty much just going to be talking about some things that people should be focusing on, and whether or not you guys want to buy, let's say, the Grove Hanger, and just kind of talking about those, and talk about my thoughts in terms of what I would put into it, as far as my kind of playing style and stuff. So as far as the overall campaign period, we are going to be, so this actually starts tomorrow on reset, 12 PST. That's obviously dependent on what kind of time zone you guys are looking at. And as far as this overall campaign, it's going to be lasting for up to 34 days. So we have well over a month to kind of get your parts up and going. So that's that. So let's take a look at what they mean by the paid version. I'm pretty sure people are familiar, but for those that are not, so let's kind of go over that real quick, because this portion of it, I do want to talk about whether or not you want to buy the paid version or not. So here we are, we have the Grove Hanger. So obviously we have the free from the top one. The middle one is pretty much tickets, which they never gave us the bonus. I don't know why. And then we also obviously have the pay version, the course version. So the only differences you are looking at, right now without the event, first one you're getting 50 per day, and then the course version you're getting 3 times the speed. Pretty much you're getting 150 experience per day. But once you clock in that 6 times, the map is going to equate to 300 for the first one, which is obviously really good. And then as for the last one, the course hanger, you're getting up to 900 per day. So in terms of like whether or not you want to spend money into the game, this is probably, in my truly honest opinion, just the best time. You probably, I think it's like what, 23.99 USD, and then you guys obviously can do your own conversion and stuff. But $23 or $24, you can get like a 900 experience per day. That is really good. If you want to do the whole overall map, so up 34 days, if you're just talking about free to play, you're not buying anything, you're getting up to 10,200. So that is nearly maxing out one singular part. That is obviously the growth is 3 growth. I'll talk about what that means, because every part has that little symbol, or not your growth 1, 2, and 3. So that's nearly enough to max out a really good part. But if you talk about, oh, I bought the course hanger, how much am I getting now? So if you do buy a course hanger, you are getting up to 30,600. So that is massive. So that is actually 2.5 somewhere around that line, and then if you combine them, you're talking about 40,800. So definitely do what you gotta do. Definitely not forcing, definitely not advertising for the game. I'm just talking about the sheer value that you guys are going in with this here. So once we did get that out of the way, let's kind of talk about parts that you do want to be putting into the Grove Hanger. As far as the lineup I'm having right now, I have myself the Sasabi, what is it, long rifle. So this is the life size version. So as far as why I'm putting this one into the Grove Hanger, obviously this one is a shooting based part. So being a ranged weapon is pretty much a mandatory on a shooting based build. Head part and then the ranged weapon is a mandatory to have the better version of both of them. So I choose this one for my end here. So this one is good. You're getting this one is good. This one is a squad version. So that's another topic I do want to bring. You want to find something that is a little bit more universal, something that you can benefit not only your own units, but let's say your other 2 units on your squad. So that's why I picked this one. So pretty much anyone within my overall squad is going to be able to benefit from the EX skill. So this one is simply phenomenal. So this is something I'll be recommending, like as far as the language. So pay attention to what kind of portrait language we're looking at. First portion is going to be the condition, and second line is going to be the effects. So all enemy, so that's pretty much squad. So this is really good. I have tested this out before, and then it's pretty much everyone in my squad is getting it as well. So it just the translation could be a little funky, but there it is. I picked this one, and then originally it's obviously going to be maxed out. This one here, this one is pretty much for a fun build because I'm in the career of like I don't really need a lot of like purely damaging stuff. I pretty much want things that simply for fun. I picked this one simply for the stats for the armor, but as a recording of this, I believe this port right now doesn't really have the highest armor anymore. You know, but you know something I did pick up. But this one does actually have some pretty good portrait if we are looking at it. You know, we get some squad cooldown reduction, so that's always gonna be good. So if you are running transformer, your overall squad is getting a 19% strip on the EX skill, so this one is good. So these are generally stuff we want to pay attention to. You know, are they squad? Are they going to be beneficial as a whole, not only to me, to like just your allies? Like I'm not talking about only your squads. I'm talking about when you play multi missions, like those people can benefit as well. So these are really good. And look at that. We also do have an all enemy EXQ plus 40% again. So these are stuff we want to be getting. Like we don't want to be upgrading these types of parts. Let me see if I can find a good example. Let's see. So for just a pure example, like we wouldn't want to work on these types of stuff anymore just because they're kind of outdated. They're not anything that's squat. They're not anything that's providing more. So they're not going to be something we work on essentially. I don't know if there's anything much to talk about as far as upgrading. Oh, I think stuff you can also upgrade here are obviously going to be pilots, just because pilots I feel like as far as upgrading, like kind of working on their portrait are kind of hard in a way. So those are definitely going to be something that I'll put forth into as well. Like if you do look at pilots, but excluding the standards, like anything that is build project related, like the build project pilot, do put them in here. But all these standard ones, I'll definitely say do not do that. So as far as pilot, I'll be putting like things like this, right? I'm array. This one is obviously the build project version, but this one is good because we are getting another squad cooldown, So I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the trend already. Like we want to focus on something that is, squad based, essentially squad based, because they're offering so much benefits. One late part that I feel like for shooting base currently is one of the best. It's gonna be the new Gundam, like right here. This one is good because this one first portion is only to yourself, so this one is the enemy shooting damage plus 50%. But this one is pretty much going to be all enemy, all damage. So this one is essentially anything. This one does not play anything on let's say only shooting base or melee base EX or whatever. This one is anything. So this is a really good portrait to be looking at, and this one does have all in the front, so that's why this one is a squad. I have personally tested out myself, and that one is a godly part for the lake portion right now. This part is probably something that I think I did recommend the last time when we had the 36 hours long spanner. So if people were able to pick that up, that's great. But the caches, you guys cannot alter them because this one, as far as the squad related one, is only after alteration. So for those who does not have the L badges, I'm just like, oh whoa, better luck next time, right? So that's pretty much how the game is. They're not offering L badges, which is kind of sad, because there's so many things that after alteration they are really good, but we just don't have them. Some other things I guess that is pretty much worth noting is double EXQ cooldown reduction. We have rare occasions where we have double, which is actually good. But in my honest opinion, if you're talking about, I want to get up to 100% EXQ cooldown reduction, I would never go for standard, or I would never go for the limited parts. Because if you do take a look at the standard stuff, we have things that are really good. Just for a quick reference, if we take a look at the store imports for this week, look at what we have. We have double 15%, which equates to 30%. This is good, right? This is like a free-to-play parts that is giving you 30% on the dots. I mean, obviously, you are missing a lot of stats. You might be missing another portrait that will give you some power boosting. But at the end of the day, this is a free-to-play parts that essentially give you, pretty much a quarter more than a quarter of your EXQ cooldown to 100 already. So so before you guys upgrade anything for, let's say, for those EXQ cooldown reduction type part, take a look at the standard portion. They have a lot of good gems. It's just gonna take a lot of digging. So if I were you guys, if you guys are confused and like, oh, how do I search them for, go over to your kind of like this box over here, click on that, and then you want to head over to the parts. You want to head over, excuse me, you want to head over to part tray. You want to come down to cooldown, and then that is essentially going to be filtering stuff that had those EXQ cooldown reduction type stuff. So I hope this is not confusing. This is pretty much just, you know, navigating through the game and just doing the basic filtering. Even this one, or this one does have the other one that we need, the initial charge boosting, but this overall roster gives you a lot of good options, you know. So don't think you always need to send, or you always need those limited part, because you actually do not. There's just a lot of gems in here. Like this one just the Shalon Gundam, we just had this one right now as a current alteration. And look at this one. This one gives her a flat out 20% already when you max it out, so that's good. Standard stuff is always going to be easier to kind of, you know, max out. But if you don't care about the center, you just want the best of the best part, let's talk about the best part right now. We have the Hanyu Gundam. The leg part is probably by far the best one we have in game right now. This one gives us a double 28%, which equates to 56% at the end of the day. So this one is obviously good at max out. Even at base level 1, we are starting out at 18% already. So this is already good. Obviously, if you want one singular part that can provide you the highest possible, I'll definitely go with this one. This one is honestly just really good. If I were building this one specifically, since we already do have Ace Exclusive as the foundation and then Federation as the foundation, this one I will actually make it into a dual type build situation, because this one does not really care about what kind of build you're looking at. You have some pretty good, you know, balanced offensive stat. So these are stuff we look at. Some other honorable mentions, I believe we have quite a few as well. I think Arios. Yeah, Arios, another one of these. Like, look at that. So if you talk about, there are parts that you definitely have to max out, in a sense, like these are something I'll kind of consider, because you get another double EXQ that we do, so why not? So if you up for that, right? If you up for the investment, then go for it. But generally speaking, in terms of EXQ cooldown parts, I go with standards. It's hassle free, because like if you guys are not into this, like the only reason people go for those limited is because they play this. All right, I'm pretty sure 90% of the player base does not care about this. This is like this list right here, you know, this whole list over here are people that either summon on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis or whatever. Like you see, like top 10 player, they put like hundreds and thousands of dollars into maxing out every limited part. So like I said again, I'm pretty sure 90% or majority of the player base does not care about these. These are not what people play the game for. They play for aesthetics, they play for looks and stuff. So don't just always assume limited part are the best, because they're not. Standard or like the way to go in some situation. But I think I have rambled long enough already. Hopefully I did kind of get the message going on. Definitely do your own research as far as what kind of part you guys are looking at, and you know, portrait wise, you know, definitely do trying to focus up on those, you know, good ones, like those CXQ power, those, like, you know, those power boosting portrait, those damage traits, those initial charge boostings, those, you know, EXQ cooldown and etc. So I hope you know, by the end of the video, you guys do get a good sense of like what kind of part to be putting into the rope hanger and stuff. But other than that, if you guys do have questions, don't hesitate. Definitely do ask away in the comment section below, and then I'll answer them in you know, as fast as possible. But other than that, that's pretty much it for me, and then I'll be catching you guys on the next one.